This is going to be the glamour shot for this. Here we go. We'll start it facing the camera. The Canon Vixia HF R10. 8GB internal flash memory with a SD card insert as well. CMOS HD. This camera shoots at 1920 full 1080 HD. Boom shakalaka. Alright, let's get into it. Hey filmmakers, knoptop here, and I have a tech overview. This isn't so much a review as it is an overview. And I wanted to talk about the Canon Vixia HF R10 camcorder. And this is a 8GB internal flash camera. It also has expandable SD card slot, so you can put some more flash memory in. Battery right there on the bottom. This is a very solid camera. This camera cost about $280, but for the price, it's cheap enough, I think, to be very like the next best thing if you're currently using a pocket camera, especially if you're a filmmaker out there. This camera is full of basically every manual setting you get with a more expensive camera. And let me just go into some of those settings, but first let me show you some of the features. Obviously, there's my phone, and there's the mic input, headphone input. We have a DC right there, and that's the charger as well. And then on this side we have our basic AV outs, which is our component, HDMI, USB. And opening it up, the camera has an automatic lens cover that when you open it, boom, we're in. And let me get into some of the settings here just to show you guys some of the key features, especially the filmmaker out there that's looking for a camera that's cheap yet useful. Let me switch to macro mode. Alright, so here we are, we're in the menu, and you can see as I'm talking right now, the manual or the audio is jumping right there. And we can go through and actually adjust some of those things. You can see that little menu when I push this joystick. And this is something else I want to mention. This camera has the joystick, where the newer cameras out there have the touch screen. And some of you might like it. Personally, I don't like to touch the only view I have with my subject, and that's where these newer cameras don't have a viewfinder. So this is your primary lens. You don't want to be touching that. So this is one of the cameras that still has the joystick there on the side. And by pushing it up, you get different settings for manual features. We can adjust the mic levels, we can adjust the focus, we can adjust the exposure, and we can adjust the pre-record time. And the cool thing about that pre-record time is it records, right now it's set to 3, it'll record 3 seconds of video information that's going into the camera. So when you hit record, it'll go back and capture the 3 seconds before, if that makes sense, that you did. So it actually is pre-recording, which means you won't miss anything, especially if you're doing like a live event. But right now I'm pretty much going over the actual features, mostly I say for the filmmaker out there, but it can be for anyone. I really like that this camera still has some manual features that most of the newer stuff just don't have available. And if I click the function, we can go into the menu and get right into it. So here we go. Here's our record media for movies, and it's given us the option where we can record internally or to the card. We have the frame rate, which is another key feature, and right now the contrast isn't letting me really see it, but when we go down here so you guys can kind of tell, right there it's in focus, 24p, and you can see there that we have 30 and 60i, which is really cool for a camera this price to be able to offer that. We have the XV color, and that's something that the Canon has in the manual. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure what it was, but it basically, they say that it gives a more vibrant color when it records, so I left that on. There's our video snapshot length. Go to the next menu settings. Here's our digital zoom, zoom speed, AF mode, image stabilizer, and you have options to turn those on and off. The next setting is our self timer, auto focus assist, and all these other options. There's our audio level indicator, the windscreen option, which so far I have yet to have a camera at any price level that has a windscreen that sounds good. It basically tries to compensate for wind noise, but it never works. I would recommend using the Windmuff tutorial that I did in another episode on the knoptop YouTube channel. Alright, also the microphone attenuator, and that's for loud noises. I had to check that out in the manual just to make sure. It basically is like an AGC setting, which automatically adjusts the audio levels. So let me get out of there, go to the next setting. We have our outputs for our display, brightness for our LCD, There's our just notifications and stuff like that. Some other options for how the camera starts up in the photo options. There's our settings and memory information, and boom, we'll get out of there. And if we go up to functions, you can see some other settings here. Obviously, our quality settings for our recording. Digital effects, it records some internal digital effects. You can see I don't really want to set any of those. You can check some of the stuff out online for the specs on that. But I wanted to show you guys for sure just the camera itself, and the fact that, look, I mean, even the white balance, you can set the white balance. This camera is at $280 currently, and to have all these features, especially being able to shoot in 24p, very cool. You can see some of the future props I'm working on for quick effects. But with that, you can see the very simple menu settings on the side here. You just pretty much click when you connect to the computer, or if you want to upload directly to the web. And the camera is pretty small. I mean, you can see there, for as small as it is, let me get this thing back into focus if I can, using the Kodak Vixia HF R10 currently. Alright, hang on, I gotta rock this switch a little. Kodak Vixia HF R10, it's cool because it's got a setting to change the focus, but alright. Anyways, so if you are working with like a pocket camera, I'm using the Kodak Vixia HF R10 for a lot of my video tutorial stuff, but if you're looking to upgrade and have some more manual settings, this camera could be an option. I recommend looking into the specs, checking out some YouTube videos for just some samples. I'm going to shoot some video with this. I don't know if it'll be ready when this video is uploaded, but come back and check out in the description. I'll put a link to a download that you can download some sample footage and test on your system, because this records in the AVCHD, and I just want to make sure that if you are looking into this camera, that your computer can handle the footage, especially your editor. I don't know if this works very well on Mac or not. Haven't had a chance to look at some of those details, but I want to at least make it available for you guys to at least hear about the camera and know about it. And there's definitely a lot of extra features. You can check out the website at Canon just to check out. This camera is still available. I feel like it's one of those diamond in the roughs, because at $280 it offers all those manual settings plus the expandable SD card in the bottom there, and the fact that it does the relay recording, which I think is awesome, because I always like to have a double backup. So you literally can have an instant double backup with this when you shoot your little movies. And the fact that it doesn't have the touch screen, it still has the joystick. I know some of you might have different preferences that you like, but I personally like keeping my fingers off the screen. With that, definitely check it out. Thanks for watching. knoptop Tech Overview. Alright. Whew. Thanks for watching. 7 minutes.